Hi guys and girls, I'm Jay Corson and welcome back to Dirt Road Barbecue. It's mid-November in western Pennsylvania. That means it's cold, that means it's windy, that means it sucks total ass here. But all of that aside, it's football Sunday again. We're going to continue to eat meats. I don't care how cold it gets. But how many of you have grabbed a hold of your bird and not known what the next step was? Well, that's what I'm here for today. I'm going to help you grab your bird and know exactly what you're doing with it. So come along with me today while we do beer can chicken. Here we go. Okay guys, so here we are. We're getting ready to rip and tear here. But what we want to do is we're going to take our can of beer here and we're going to enjoy about half of it. Drink it down. And then a little trick to popping the top off of this thing. Just reach in your hoodie pocket here. If you chew snuff, you probably already know this trick. But we're just going to go right there. Like I said, use your hoodie pocket or a t-shirt, something. Don't cut up the old fingies. So, we've got that thing about half drank down. And what we have here is one cut up green onion and one chopped up jalapeno. And we're just going to fill this beer can full of that produce. Going right in with it. Just put it right in the beer can. Almost makes you want to drink it. A jalapeno natty light. Come on. Ask about me. So we've got all that produce thrown in there. Make sure it's in your beer. Slosh it around. Set that off to the side. We've got our bird. Grab your bird. We've got her all dried out. You know, we already patted it dry. So that's all done. And use whatever, binder you want, duck fat, cooking spray, olive oil, you name it. That's fine to use. Whatever you like, or whatever you have, really. I mean, it's really not going to affect your flavor much. Duck fat might give you a little bit more richness on the outside of it. But this is just to help our seasoning stick to this bird, and a little bit of olive oil will help the skin crisp up a little bit. So that's plenty. Go ahead and rub it down, do whatever you want to do. Love your bird. So that's what you're into. I'm going to run and grab a paper towel. Alright, we got our hands all nice and wiped off now. I'm going to go in, use whatever seasoning you want, but a nice AP, salt, pepper, garlic is what I'm going in first with. Just a nice light dusting. Get that underneath the armpits and the crevices and the cracks and the whatever the anatomy of a chicken is. Get all in there. Just give it a nice dusting on the outside of this bird. Make sure we get the tops and the edges. Give it a nice dusting of that seasoning. If you want one seasoning, that's fine. If you got two seasonings you like for chicken, that's fine. But just use whatever you want to. Like I said, I'm using Killer Hogs AP. It's just salt, pepper, garlic. That's the name of the game. Just pat it in there. Get all your seasoning on there. Then that's my first coat. And then I'm going to go in with Bayou Blend. I'm doing a little bit of a Cajun beer can chicken here today. If you don't like spicy or you don't like Cajun, whatever. Like I said, use whatever flavor you like. I don't care what you do. I'm not going to show up to your house and kick your ass because you're not using the seasonings that I'm using. I might show up to your house if I hear you're not cooking meat, or if you're a vegetarian. That might get me a little fired up, but I don't care what seasoning you use. I want you to enjoy your food. I don't want you to just do what I do because I do it. Use your mind and incorporate what is going to make you and your family enjoy your food the most. And there's plenty of rubs. You know, everybody and their brother's got a rub anymore. So, you know, you don't have to use exactly what I use. Just go in here nice and generously with this seasoning on the outside of this bird. Make sure we get these armpits real nice and seasoned up. And then I like to open it up, and I like to get my seasoning inside the cavity of this chicken. And then I'll go in with a little bit of that AP as well. Get it in there. And then I like to just, you know, I asked permission from this chicken before I did this, by the way. This is consensual cavity seasoning. So there we are. We've got this bird all nice and rubbed up. And I'm going to move this over here. And then just because, you know, if you're on a smoker or a grill or whatever, you've got uneven grates with big cracks and crevices all over it. Makes it hard for things to stand up nice and tall in there without falling over. So I'll just go right on this old cookie sheet here, set my beer can on there, and then I'm just gonna slowly insert this beer can right into the cavity of this chicken. Like I said, we already asked permission. We're good. So that's that. Might give it just a nice little presentation dust of that Bayou blend, just to get that nice orange coloring on this bird. And just like that, we've got a beer can chicken ready to go in the smoker. And that, you know, the idea is this beer is gonna boil in there and create steam and keep the inside of that chicken real nice and moist. Guys will tell you it doesn't make a difference. Guys will tell you it doesn't, but I've never really had a time where a Natty Light didn't make my experience better. So we're gonna do it. You know, I've had beer can chicken. It's always been good. So you can say it doesn't work, it doesn't do anything. Kiss my ass. We're making it anyhow. We're going on the Traeger, and I will bring you right over here. Right over here to the Traeger that needs cleaned really bad. And you can watch me set this on the smoker. Like I said, it is windy and it's cold, so this Traeger is working double time today, staying up the temp. But we're at 325. We're gonna go right in here, and then I'm gonna stick a probe in this chicken right in this breast. I'm gonna go right across there. Make sure this chicken's standing up nice. And I'm gonna go until about 160 internal and pull it off. It'll carry to 165. So we'll be back at 160. All right, guys, here we are at the end of this cook. Nice, easy, breezy, not a real long process. We hit 160, we took it inside, it sat and rested. That's gonna carry up to 165, where we wanna be at with this chicken. You wanna pull your chicken off at 160. That's how you get moist chicken and keep it moist. It's gonna rise as it sits after you take it off of whatever you're cooking on. So we hit that. I'll bring it over and show you what it looks like. Hopefully you can see that. That's a beautiful chunk of chicken. So now all there is to do is see what we look like on the inside here. And let me tell you, this thing is very moist. I mean, the outside's pretty crispy. And look at that breast meat. I mean, just moisture coming right out of it. So, had fun with you today, but it's time to try this out. And that's, the flavors, the seasoning, and the jalapenos that we've put in that beer are coming through. It's got a little bit of bite to it, but nothing, your grandmother's not going to be able to enjoy. That's just great chicken, really. You got to do that. It works. There's so much moisture in that chicken. So, thanks for hanging out today, guys. We'll see you on the next one. That'll do.